May 31st. Boy, oh boy, did the month of May fly by. The last day of May. Welcome to Discover and Recover Yoga. D ampersand R. Not D, not the letter N, it's the ampersand. So somebody said, are you the Department of Natural Resources? Are you do not resuscitate? No, we are D ampersand R Yoga, D&R Yoga, Discover and Recover Yoga. Today, fellow D&R Yoga participants, we're talking about consider the source. It's an old phrase that my mom would use years and years ago. She's been gone since 2009, but the phrase popped up recently at one of the treatment centers. I conduct yoga, mindfulness, and meditation sessions, where one of the therapists used that phrase, consider the source. Consider the source, 3 words, which, in my humble opinion, IMHO, are really powerful words, a powerful phrase. For me, it resonates and lands like this. And it's part of a practice I try to incorporate into my daily walk, which is to not take things personally. Recently had a client out at this particular treatment center as the yoga practice was unfolding. I was mentioning during the course of our time together, this 45-minute session, about my mom's alcoholism and how it affected our lives, my life. In particular, 8-year-old Neil, 10-year-old Neil could determine, even though I didn't know it was alcohol related, I could determine when I got off the school bus and entered my home by the tone, the pitch, the pace, the volume, the inflection of my mom's voice, whether it was a safe afternoon or an unsafe afternoon. And that was because whether she was drinking or not drinking. So I was mentioning that in a conversation where this client at this treatment center got up out of a pose and looked at me and said, I thought this session was to be positive and uplifting. I didn't want to hear about your alcoholic mom. This is not what I signed up for. And he got up and left the makeshift studio. Whoa. The way that landed in me, in my body at first was like, wow, what did I do wrong? How could I have been so off base with the messaging and the practice and the instruction? And as quickly as that sensation landed in my physical and my spiritual body, the same thing as quickly as it landed, I realized that his response has absolutely nothing to do with me. That is his deal. That is his perception. Of course, these are folks who are struggling with addiction, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 days clean, maybe a week or 2. And they're coming in with a bunch of baggage. So I have to consider the source. And as soon as I did that, yesteryear, I would have dwelled on that. I wouldn't have been present, wouldn't have been able to be there for the other students that were in that session. I'd have been not available for them. I would have been thinking, what's wrong with me? I would have carried that thought maybe 2, maybe 3 days. And thankfully, you guys, this process, this discover and recover has helped me. And I'm telling you, I learned by repetition. I've been doing this for 30 years in the recovery world. That it dawned on me finally. Thank you guys for this idea. It's Don Miguel Ruiz in his famous work, The 4 Agreements, says, don't take things personally. So planting the seed for this session is about consider the source of whatever you might be looking at from work, at home, at play. That those 3 powerful words can help you perhaps reframe, better understand how or why you're responding in the way you are, how or why external messaging and influences are coming into your body as they are. So I'm sitting comfortably on this big cushion because I'd like to begin this practice introducing what is called Nadi Shodhana. Nadi Shodhana. That's the Sanskrit term for a practice we call alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing. And I'm going to demonstrate that. We're going to do alternate nostril breathing for 2 minutes. The reason that it is part of the yoga practice, meditators do it. It's been around for a long, long time. It is designed to to help balance the central nervous system, the right hemisphere, the left hemisphere of the brain. Evidence-based research has indicated that alternate nostril breathing can help reduce lower anxiety, lower stress. There's also linked to helping with insomnia. And this is an absolutely natural tool that can be used to do that. I know there's a lot of my students that struggle with sleeplessness or insomnia, and I'm going to demonstrate this. Now, you can follow along with me now, but I would suggest just hang tight for the next 45 to 60 seconds as I describe this, and then we'll launch it for a 2-minute time frame. I'm going to check my clock here to set it up for those 2 minutes. But it begins, friends, with the right hand. It may look like my left hand, but I'm going to go ahead and choose my right, with the index finger and the middle finger coming to the base of the palm, or to the palm, probably the base of where the thumb is. The thumb, the ring finger, and the pinky finger stay out. So index finger and middle finger contract to the base of into the palm area. From that position, we take that right thumb to the right nostril. Looks like this. The inhalation begins through the left nostril. Maybe 4, maybe 5 counts. You take that ring finger or the pinky finger, you close off that left nostril, and you exhale through the right nostril. Or maybe 5 counts. You inhale through the right nostril. 3, 4, 5. Close off that right nostril. Exhale through the left. 4, maybe 5 counts. Inhale through the left nostril. 3, 4, 5. Close off that left nostril. Exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close it off. Exhale through the left nostril. So that's the demonstration of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Now, please, in this moment, get yourself set up, comfortably seated. I'm going to suggest you keep the spine nicely erect, or sitting up tall. This is not, it's almost like an ottoman that I'm sitting on. But find that comfortable position. You could be on your yoga mat, you could be in a chair, whatever. And I'm going to set the timer. We're going to go for 2 minutes. It may feel uncomfortable, it may feel weird. If you lose the rhythm, I'm going to suggest you begin back with that right thumb at the right nostril. If you lose the pattern, don't worry about it. Take care of yourself. Don't beat yourself up. This isn't, we're not doing brain surgery here. But it is a great tool for reducing stress, lowering anxiety. See if we can help kind of balance the central nervous system. So beginning, index finger and middle finger to the center towards the palm, thumb, ring finger, and pinky finger out. I like to use the ring finger to close off the left nostril. Some like to use the pinky. So let's begin closing off that right nostril, inhaling through the left. Close off that left nostril, exhale through the right. Yeah, maybe 4, maybe 5 counts. Inhale through the right nostril. Close off the right nostril, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left nostril. Close it off, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right nostril. Close it off, exhale through the left. Maintain that nice posture. Inhale through the left. Close off the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Close off, exhale left, 30 more seconds. Inhale left. Close off, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off, exhale left. Inhale left. Close off, exhale right. And release. Returning to what is your normal, natural, regular breath. Bringing some awareness. And again, it is like much of what we do on the mat, a practice. So if that's your very, very first time doing alternate nostril breathing, you may notice nothing, maybe a little bit of a sensation of something that's going on. But indeed, over time, practicing that 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening, a great tool. You can always look at it online through Google, through YouTube to refresh or come back to this recording, because this will be recording and sent to you guys. Okay, find yourself to whatever seated posture is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and switch from sitting on this ottoman, coming out onto my meditation cushion. As you recall, this is a way for me to lift my hips a little higher than my, lift my hips a little bit, let the knees come down. Still, I'm 139 days out on this. Well, according to my, it looks like my right, that is my left hip. 139 days out with this left hip replacement, 3 years on my right hip. So I like to sit on something that helps me lift the hips a little bit in my seated posture. You might be coming right onto the surface of your mat. You may be sitting on a cushion, a rolled up blanket, maybe a rolled up towel. Who knows, maybe you're sitting on yoga blocks. So let's come into this position, perhaps eyes closed. More aware of how you're showing up in the physical body. Knowing that this space, we're creating these spaces to be safe, secure, free of judgment, free of competition. Continue to assess how you are showing up in the physical body, how you're showing up in the mental body, how you're showing up in the emotional state, what spiritual elements you're bringing to the practice in this moment. As individually, collectively, we draw the hands to the heart center. Here's a transition to that nostril-only breathing. Yes, we practiced not alternate nostril breathing, but now for the balance of this practice, we're going to see if we can breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. On occasion, I'll call out for a more diaphragmatic breath. But generally speaking, practicing nostril breathing after doing the intro of that alternate nostril breathing. There's a purpose of an intention to set for your practice, maybe sending some love, some light out to somebody in your midst. Maybe it is the idea of considering the source, how that might land. Considering the source of things at work, at home, at play, taking things personally. Now let's do this. Inhale, we'll sweep the arms wide and high. Palms on me. On the exhale, let's take the right hand to the floor and the left arm up and over. So we're going to move the body laterally as I draw that left hip low. You may want to pop a bit. I'm going to extend this left arm by the left ear. Maybe the right fingertip to walk a little further out. Some will bring that right forearm to the floor as we move the head a bit for yes. And no, we talk about the higher energy centers in the head and the neck. Now I'm going to suggest you draw that left hand through and let's create like a little half circle, semicircle as we make our way over towards the left side of the mat. Left hand is down, right arm is up and over. Same thing other side. Now it's that right hip. We're going to see if we can get heavy into that right hip. Again, a little movement of the head, yes. Or no, maybe the left fingertips walk a little further. Some will get to that left forearm. We'll keep going for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now, guess what? Let's lower that right hand down, sweeping through center. Take your time. Okay. Right hand is to the side, left arm up and over. Same thing where we began. Breathing into that, we'll hold for 3. Long line of energy on that left side for 2. Now 1, release, come in that, I'll call it like a half circle. Almost, yeah, semicircle. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Breathing steady, that nostril breathing will hold for 3. Don't forget about the head if you'd like to move it a little bit. Breathing into that for 2. Now please come back to center, wherever the hands would like to land. Realign the spine. I kind of want to jump into this. This is where I feel more comfortable sitting. But I know yoga helps me to find this nice regal posture, this posture of dignity. Into that smooth breath pattern from yoga teacher and mindfulness teacher Walt Case, let the breath flow like water. Okay, D&R Yoga peeps, however you want to find your way to hands and knees. I'm just going to release the meditation cushion out from underneath my bum, land my wrists underneath my shoulders, bring my knees underneath my hips, inhaling for cow, exhale for cat. So classic cat-cow. Exhale finds cat, inhale finds cow. So I'm going to call it out. Keep going for a few more rounds, please. Each breath will initiate in one of the movements. Inhale will initiate cow. Exhale will initiate cat. As we go for 4. Breathing steady into this for 3. Almost there for 2. And eventually on 1, we're back to neutral. Okay. From hands and knees, I'm going to put all the weight on my left palm. I'm going to take the back of my right hand to the mat. So I've got my right fingertips facing my right knee. This is a huge wrist opener. So I've got 97% of the weight on my left hand. I've got about 3% of the weight on the back of my right hand. I'm going to see if I can get right wrist, right elbow, and right shoulder to have a relative alignment. If there's a little bend there, that's no worries. I'm going to spread those right fingertips as wide as possible. Hold here for 3. About 3% of the weight is on the back of the right hand, almost there for 2. All right, now please, let's release the right hand with a finger wiggle. Yeah, a wrist rotation, and then a shakeout. A shakeout. Now, as you vigorously shake that right hand out, let's land that right hand back to the mat. And notice as you put weight gently back onto the right hand, the weight now is 100% on the right hand, back of the left hand to the mat. 3% of the weight onto the back of the left hand, left fingertips are spreading wide, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist might align as we hold here. Same thing, other side. Hello, left wrist. Anybody's got carpal tunnel, we're going to try to keep osteoporosis at bay. Breathing into this for 3. About 97% of the weight is on my right hand, about 3% of the weight is on my left, the back of my left hand for 2. Beautiful. Now please release that left hand. Let's give the fingers a wiggle. The wrists, that wrist of rotation, and please, dare I say, shake that shit out. Let it go. Land back on that left palm. Notice what you notice. Big toe to touch, draw the knees out wide, sink the hips back towards the heels, walk the hands forward, and let's let go in child's pose. Okay, from child's pose, options is thread that right arm over toward the left side of the mat, palm up. You might land the forehead on the mat. You might land that chin on that right shoulder. As you gaze to the right, you might land that right chin, the chin on the right tricep. You may turn the gaze to the left or keep the head neutral. Just opening of that right shoulder. We'll hold for 3. Big breath in, steady breath out for 2. Now on 1, unthread that right arm. It goes forward. Left hand threads through. Left hand over towards the right side of the mat. Keep the head neutral. Maybe the gaze goes a bit to the left.
This is where I would suggest you get diaphragmatic with the breath cycle, introducing that for maybe a couple of breath cycles. We'll hold for 3, breathing into that for 2. Now, eventually, we unthread that left arm. We're back to our quote regular child's pose, unquote. But eventually, let's inhale, hinge forward, restack wrists and shoulders. If the knees are out wide, draw the knees back underneath the hips, tabletop. Yeah. Toes tuck. I'm purposely tucking the toes under, and I'm gonna draw my hips back towards my heels. This gets a nice stretch to the soles and the balls of the feet. I've got students that keep the hands forward. I've got students that walk the hands closer to the knees. I've got some students that come up into this, I call it catcher's position, as if you're in a baseball position as a catcher, you're on the balls of the feet. Everything is big stretch to the soles and the balls of the feet. So you can be here, you can be here, you can be out here. So choose that version as we hold here for 4. Stretching those soles and balls of feet, keeping the feet nice and healthy for 3. That's nice. Almost there for 2. All right, eventually, if you haven't already, land those wrists back underneath the shoulders, untuck the toes, and this is going to sound silly. Let's tap. Gently tap the tops of the feet into the mat. That's just going to wake up. Some blood flow back to the tops of the feet, guys. Okay. Option from here is I'm going to find, I call it hero's pose. I'm drawing the hips back towards the heels and I'm sitting on the knees. Now, for some students, that's a bit of a challenge. So some options is to take a rolled up blanket or a pillow, place it between the hamstrings and the calves. That can, oh, there's a nice knee pop. That softens that into these. If that blanket or pillow is not available, how about a block, a yoga block that can be placed at this height, or maybe even the highest height. I'll just go to the highest height. I let it sit between my calves, between my ankles, and I'm sitting on that. It's the top edge above. Again, it just softens this position. But if it's available, on the knees we go. Hand come to the heart center. Checking at the heart space where all the good stuff emanates: kindness, compassion, empathy, tolerance. There's a key one. Patience. Hello. Forgiveness. Oh my gosh, that's a trifecta. Tolerance, patience, and forgiveness, but ultimately love from the heart center. Eventually, left elbow to the right thigh. Left elbow to the right thigh. A little twist is happening. Actually, it's kind of a big twist. And then come back to center. That would be the inhale. Exhale, right elbow, left thigh. Inhale to center. Let's keep going. Exhale, left elbow to right thigh. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right elbow, left thigh. Inhale back to center. One more time. Each exhale will find the twist. Inhale brings you to neutral. Inhale back to center. Pause here. Okay. From this seated posture, from what we regularly recall from this hero's pose, let's start to hinge forward. Reland the wrists underneath the shoulders. Retuck the toes. Lift the hips downward. So segueing into our first upside down posture. Head below the heart. I'm drawing my heels low. Some say, do my heels need to find the mat? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. You have the option to bend one knee and then the other as the tail wags, as the head moves, or there's a nice pop. Moving the head like it's on a swivel. If you'd like, you can explore, take the feet out wide, maybe even take the hands out wide. Just see, experiment, explore. But eventually the hands come back to about shoulder distance, the feet back to about hip distance. Okay. Downward facing dog. On an inhale, I'm coming up on my tiptoes. As I exhale, I'm going to bend both knees, look between my thumbs, and start to stroll to the top of the mat. Standing forward fold. Little wardrobe check. Arms can hang. You can bind. Ooh, chin is in. Slight bend to the knees if there's issues with your low back. Eventually, let's glue our palm to the shins. Inhale for a half lift. So I'm drawing the core parallel to the floor. Exhale, fold it back in. One more time. Palms to shins, half lift. Exhale, let's release in that fold. Oh, yes. Arms are coming out like wings. Reverse swan dive. You're going to take us to standing. The palms meet above the crown of the head. I know my head's cut off. I'll adjust that in a moment. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Okay. Another little wardrobe check.
Hands at the heart center. Beautiful guys, yeah. Thinking about alignment, thinking about, we'll call this samastiti, hands at the heart center when we're standing, a little blending of the breath, the body, and the soul. Please interlace those fingers, except index fingers are going to go towards the ceiling. Let's inhale those index fingers towards the ceiling. I'll adjust the camera here. And as you exhale, let's tip it to the right. So index fingers lead the way over towards the right side of the mat. Open up that left side. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, index fingers tip to the left. Inhale back to center. Let's go one more time. Tip it to the right. Back to center. Exhale, tip it to the left. Back to center. Pause here. Now let's just tip it backwards. I'm going to let the index fingers lead their way to the back of the mat. Open up that chest. Shine that heart. Draw the hips forward. We'll hold for 3. Let's breathing into that for 2. That 1. Come back to perpendicular. Release the bind. Whew. Mountain pose, top of the mat. Feel free to close the eyes. Feel that strong base. We've been talking about mountain these last several weeks. The permanence, the majesty, the resilience, the power, the grace of mountains, the beauty, the majesty, the peril. Sometimes it is. Sometimes these mountains are perilous in there, what they do naturally. Storms coming in, rock formations, breaking loose, just a lot of things. Forest fires, just amazing. Just the ecosystem that happens in mountains. Any residual tension, just let it drip off the fingertips. Let it just drip into the mat, through the soles of the feet. Just relax, let go. Soften the throat, soften the jaw. So from the top of the mat, I'm going to step in all the way to that right foot. I'm going to bring this left foot back. We're going to just get a simple way into warrior 1. I've got right foot parallel to the long edge of the right side of the mat. I've got my feet on a railroad track. My left foot is about at a beating angle. I'd say maybe a 45-degree angle. I'm attempting to draw my right hip forward and my left hip back, arms by ears, warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1. I'm going to see if I can maintain a right knee and right ankle stacking. Left hip is attempting to drop forward. Right hip is attempting to drop back. I can feel that. I'm trying to strongly energize to the outer edge of that left foot. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward, biceps by the ears as we hold here. Imagine imaginary string on the sternum, taking the heart high. If we breathe into this for 4, maybe the gaze lifts, soften the throat, soften the jaw, almost there for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now gently bring the hands to the hips and draw that left foot up. Yeah. Okay. Under the hips, top of the mat. I dare you to go into the meeting. Go to your next meeting like this. Yeah. Say, hey, I'm considering the source. I'm considering the source of all you people out there in this meeting. But here I am showing up in this position. Yeah, that's quite bold. Okay. From the top of the mat. Weight now into that left foot. I'm drawing my right foot back. All right. Left foot is parallel to the long edge of the mat. I've got my right foot at a bit of an angle. Let me see what's popping up here on the screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Right foot at about a 45-degree angle. I'm drawing my right hip forward, my left hip back. Something, sorry, keeps popping up on the screen here. Hopefully that take care of it. All right. Feet on a railroad track. Sorry, guys. This is something's going on. Okay. Okay. Arms by ears. So left footed forward, right foot back. I'm going to try to find that nice bend into that left knee, left ankle are stacked. Right hip is drawn forward, left hip is drawn back. Oh yeah. A lot of energy. Outer edge of this left foot, right foot, I should say, as we hold here for 4. Yeah. Maybe the gaze goes towards the ceiling. If you're outside, practice the outside, lift it to the beautiful sky. Almost there for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now hands come to the hips. Right foot comes up to meet the left. Mountain pose. Let the hands come down. That's nice. Yeah. Shimmy that out a bit. So just a simple, gentle way to get into that warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Now we're going to do the same to gently get ourselves into warrior 2. Wait, once again to that right foot. I mean, somewhat here. I'm going to bring more of that right foot to the center mat.
Left foot comes back, and I'm gonna see if I can get right heel and left instep to find a little bit of alignment. Right heel to bisect the instep of that left foot. My torso is facing the left side of the mat. Right arm comes forward, left arm goes back. Okay, right knee, right ankle, nicely stacked. Left arm is to the rear of the mat, right arm is to the front of the mat. Soften the throat, soften the jaw. Now we'll call what we'll exalt. Let's take the right hand high, left hand sweeps low. Maybe the left hand goes down the left leg. Some will wrap it around the low back and find this exalted version of warrior two as we hold here for 3. Maybe the gaze to the outstretched right fingertips, maybe the outer edge of that left foot. That'll work on that cervical spine a bit for 2. Now release that right arm back to the front of the mat, left into the back of the mat. Now take right forearm to right thigh, and that left arm is going to bisect that left ear. You have the option to spin upper left ribs a little higher towards the ceiling. How about long line of energy from that left middle finger to the outer edge of that left foot? You guys. We'll hold here for 3. Big breath in, steady breath out, almost there for 2. Now, please, on 1, come back up to the warrior 2, please. Right arm is front, left arm is back. Now I'm just sweeping this left foot up to meet the right foot, mountain pose, top of the mat. Okay. Ooh. For me, whenever I have a moment to reset, you can trust I'm going to shimmy. I'm going to shimmy the hips, wag the tail a little bit, maybe shimmy the shoulders. I'm coming over here to demo it on this side. Okay. Weight is into that left foot. Left foot is more to the center of the mat. Right foot is back. Right foot at a bit of an angle. I'm going to try to get that left heel to kind of bisect the instep of that right foot. Left arm is forward, right arm is back. Same thing. Left knee is stacked on top of left ankle. My torso is now facing the right side of the mat. Left arm is forward, right arm is back. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, left hand high, right hand does something. Maybe it wraps around the low back, slides down that right leg. Oh, yeah. Big opening on the left side. Maybe the gaze to the outstretched left fingertips. Maybe the outer edge of that right foot as we hold here for 4. Check in with that breath. Hopefully it's flowing smoothly for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now gently release back out to the warrior 2, please. Steady gaze, top of left hand. Eventually left forearm to left thigh and the right arm. Oh, there it is. I'm attempting to maybe open up that right side towards the ceiling. Long line of energy, right middle finger, outer edge of that right foot as we hold for 3. Breathing steady into that for 2. Now gently come back up to the warrior 2, please. Inhale, we'll root me as I exhale, I'm sweeping this right foot up to meet the left foot, mountain pose. The mat. Top of the mat we go. Facing the camera again. All is well. No worries. No burdens. Okay. I'm going to start to mirror you guys. Weight to that right foot. I'm on the ball of the left foot. I'm going to externally rotate this left hip. It's actually my right hip. I'm going to stay on the kickstand version of what I call kickstand version of tree. Otherwise, I'm going to slide that left foot up to my right ankle, right calf, or maybe the inside of my right thigh. Anywhere but the inside of the right knee. Tree pose. Whatever you like to do with tree, whatever you like to do with the arms, they may stay low. You may have them lift. Okay, option from here is to find twisted tree. I'm going to take this right hand to the outside of that left thigh and the left hand to the low back. So we'll call it twisted tree. Right hand to the outside of the left thigh, and I'm gazing over this left shoulder. Little balance in the twisted tree as we hold here for 4. Breathe steady into that for 3. Almost there for 2. All right, now please on 1, release. Whew. Gently come back to mountain. Yeah. So reset. So this, Don Miguel Ruiz in his book, in his work called The 4 Agreements, he has one agreement that says, don't take things so personally. And I think that applies so well to this idea of where we consider the source of what may be our agitation. We may consider the source that may be part of our elation. So just this concept, those 3 simple words, consider the source, can have such a powerful indication how we receive this thing called life. Weight to that left foot. Externally rotate this right hip. It's actually my left hip. I'm staying kickstand version, or I'm sliding that right foot up the left ankle, left calf, or the inside of the left thigh. Anywhere but the inside of the left knee. Okay. Arms can lift if you'd like. Staying here, but option to twisted tree. Left hand to right thigh. Right hand to the low back. Twisted tree. Sounds like a drink. Nice. Big posture. I get that. We'll hold here for 3. Twisting the tree. Almost there for 2. If you come out of it, like I'm about to, you can just you can come back and then please untwist your back to mountain. Back to mountain. A little wardrobe check. Beautiful, guys. From this position, hands come onto the thighs. Please walk your hands down the thighs, past the knees, onto the shins, and just ragdoll your way to your forward fold. Take your time. If you'd like, you can do the opposite hand, opposite elbow. The head can frame. Relax, release, let go any residual tension, any unnecessary stiffness, tightness, binding. Just let it drip off the shoulder heads. Let it drip off the crown of the head. Beautiful. I'm going to bend the knees a little deeper. I'm going to bring my fingertips to the palms of the mat. Walk the feet back. I'm lowering onto the knees. No fancy transition. Some will lower to the right hip. Some will lower onto the left hip. As we swing the legs around to the front, seated posture. So, coming from that forward fold, I'm going to adjust the camera. You can see this seated posture. Hands back at the heart center, please. Interlace the fingers, except index fingers. We did this standing. Now we're doing seated. Inhale those index fingers towards the ceiling. Maybe notice bicep fingers, and then just a gentle seated forward fold. Leading with those index fingers. Slight bend to the knees. Yeah. Maybe a little wiggle from side to side. Ooh. Slight bend to knees. I have to have that, whether I'm standing or seated in my forward fold, because of this issue with my low back. So if you have no issue with your low back, you can certainly maybe let the legs straighten out. Now inhale, let's lift those index fingers towards the ceiling. Biceps, and as you exhale, release the hands out and down. Yeah. Okay, soles become together. There it is, butterfly pose. I like my hands behind my hips, but eventually I'm going to move them to my shins, maybe to my ankles, maybe to the tops of the feet. These fingers can wrap around the big toes. We find butterfly pose. Or maybe a little slight flutter. I'm pressing big toe mounds together. I got the heels well connected. Inhale like this one. Exhale, I'm just going to gently forward fold. My range of motion in this is very limited. I've got some students that can bring the chest down to the insteps of the feet. Wherever you land it, I'm going to have a little bit of a rounding through my mid back and my upper back as the chin tucks in. Using those elbows to coax those knees out. Beautiful. We'll hold here for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now 1, I'm going to realign the spine to perpendicular. Bring those knees towards the ceiling, soles of feet to the mat. I'm going to let my hands come down by my hips as I heel to my feet out towards the edges of the mat. And I'm going to start to move the knees, swish, move, just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And in doing so, I'm going to try my best to keep my shoulders square to the top of the mat. Just working on the hips as we move from side to side for 4. Here's 3, 2. Last one. Okay. Suggestion is to heel toe those feet back to center. Re-straighten. Point the toes. Reach the fingertips forward. Realign. Find that dignified posture, that regal posture with that. I want to jump into this. But here we are. Energy through the toes and the fingertips. And let's begin a little descent. This will be some core work. We'll lower down to right about here. So this is a version. We'll hold for 3. Breathing into that for 2. Now on 1, rise back up. Think about that L shape with the body. As we exhale, we're going to go down another vertebra or 2 lower to right about here. We'll hold for 3. This is our core. Beautiful. Breathing into that for 2. Now on 1, rise back up. All right, we got 2 more of those. Inhale, we grow long, energy through the toes and the fingers. Exhale, let's go down a little lower to right about here. We'll hold for 3. Beautiful, guys, breathing into that for 2. Nice, that one, back up, we rise to the occasion. Okay, a little reset. Last time, as you exhale, we're gonna go as low as we can. Variation is grab the hamstrings or put the forearms into the mat. That's great modifications. Otherwise, we're low as we go for 4. That's it. Maybe a little shaking going on, breathing into that for 3. A lot of energy through the toes and the fingers. Here we go, almost there for 2. Beautiful, guys. Now on 1, lower all the way down. Yeah. Hopefully you're positioned on the mat nicely. Let's find stretch. Maybe you're doing this in the morning, maybe you're doing it in the evening. Fingertips reach to the back of the mat, toes or heels to the front of the mat. You might give the toes and fingers, the wrists and ankles some motion. Motion is lotion, we know, for these joints. Inhale, lengthen a bit more, but as you exhale, draw both knees into the chest and bind. It may feel good to rock side to side. I've got some students that roll front to back. If you do that, make sure you tuck the chin towards the chest. But eventually, shoulder blades in the back of the head, if they're not there, return to the mat, arms out like wings, please. Knees to the right, gazes left. Oh yeah, classic spinal twist. Once the knees have floated to the right, the gaze left, some will take that right hand to the outside of that left thigh for a little nudge. So you might be able to give yourself pressing the right thigh a little closer to the mat, to the earth. Gaze is steadily over that left shoulder. Might notice the left shoulder blade wants to pop a little bit. Ooh, yeah. We'll hold for 3. If you'd like to get fuller and richer and deeper on the inhale and exhale, feel free to do that for 2. Nice. Now on 1, let's come back to center. Dare I say we rebut. For me, I like to lift my shoulder blade and the back head off the mat because I'm so tight through the hips. But eventually they return back to the mat. Shoulder blades in the head do. Arms once again, tee the torso, knees left, gaze is right. Left hand might find the top of that right thigh for a little extra engagement. Right shoulder blade might want to pop a little bit. So I'm going to be observant of that. Just an observation, not a judgment. Big breath in, steady breath out as we hold for 3. Breathing steady into that for 2. Nice job, guys. Now on 1, we're going to come back to center. And once again, our second to last supine on the back bind. Draw those thighs in, squeeze it in, and then please let go of the bind. Finding your way to your resting posture. I've got some students that like to keep the knees bent. Takes pressure off the low back. I've got some students that come into butterfly pose. They feel it's really good to do that. I've got most students that take right ankle, right corner of the mat, left ankle, left corner of the mat. And we release, we relax. Call it finding the Savasana sweet spot. So that might be a little shoulder shimmy, maybe a little hip shimmy, any little micro movements to get yourself nicely situated, comfortable. A blanket, a rolled up blanket, or a pillow underneath the knees is a great alternative. Oh, don't do that. Meditation cushion. Simply allow. I've heard yoga teachers and meditation teachers use that phrase for years. Simply allow. And early on in my practice, I was thinking, allow what? And I was taught, simply allow whatever idea, word, concept, phrase that comes after the word allow that would be helpful, positive, uplifting. Simply allow peace, allow relaxation, allow letting go, allow harmony, allow softness. So anything that's going to help you maintain, come into this blissful state, this harmonious state of relaxation. Breath again flowing smoothly. As Rolf Gates, your teacher based in California, his phrase is, let the breath flow like water. few more moments, please. Let the front side of the body meld into the back side of the back side of the body meld into the mat. Just let go. Release tensions, worries, fears, trepidations, anxieties. Okay, D&R friends, let's do this. On an inhale, let's re-elongate. Now, if you have a prop underneath these, I'm going to suggest you just move it out to the side. Toes point, maybe feet flex, fingertips reach to the back of the mat. It's as if we're doing a morning stretch. I like to do this in the bed just to get the body to reach. Inhale to lengthen a bit more. And on the exhale, yes, our last supine bind as we draw the knees into the chest. You can do this tightly or lightly, however the spirit moves you at this moment. Option is to float to the left side or the right side and find that what we call a fetal, a renewal posture. If this doesn't work, simply staying on your back is absolute option. So whether you're to the right side or left side, just a moment to pause, reflect on your purpose, the design for this practice. But eventually, if you're on your right side, you press into that left palm. If you're on your left side, you press into your right palm. If you're on your back, you're just going to come on up to seated. I'm going to once again come onto this meditation cushion. Get comfortable. If it's cross-legged, that's option. If you want to return to butterfly pose with the soles of the feet, big toe mounds pressing, it feels more comfortable to let the legs come out front. Absolutely. So in a moment to reassess your practice, hearkening back to that alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. Balance the central nervous system to bring some calmness to our oftentimes our anxious, stressful lives, maybe even over time with practice of alternate nostril breathing, having an opportunity to positively impact insomnia. Hands come to the heart space. Here we go. You get it. You know it emanates from the heart center. So maybe pick one of those elements: kindness, compassion, empathy, tolerance, patience. Perhaps it's forgiveness. That's a key one, but ultimately love. Ultimately love. And consider the source as you engage, as you connect with individuals at work, at home, at play. Consider the source, and doing so in a kind and compassionate manner, but knowing that we don't lessen that opportunity, the inclination for many. I know for me, as a card-carrying person of the people pleaser society of the world, coming into that level of understanding of it, it's not me. How this is I'm being responded to is nothing to do with me. We close in that traditional fashion with the word namaste. Please know the divine light, teacher, and the spirit that dwells within me, indeed, with a bunch of gratitude. And showing up in this virtual format, hopefully showing up in this session, feeling authentic and humble with you guys. Hopefully that is translating through this electronic format. Bows to the divine light, to the teacher, and to the spirit that dwells within each and every one of you guys. Namaste. Happy last day of May for Discover and Recover Yoga on the 31st of May, 2023. Questions, comments, feedback, always welcome. Please reach out. Blessings, one and all. See you next week. Bye-bye.